how to use the mobile live streaming app Blab on your iOS device. Hi, my name is Krishna Day, and in a previous video I covered tips about how to use Blab, which is a new live streaming video social network, and that you can use it in your browser. Now, the official app is not available at the time of this video being recorded, and the team are constantly making updates to their beta app. My objective in this session, therefore, is to give you an overview about how you can get started using Blab, but be aware there will be updates. So if you want to get updates from me, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitter at Krishna Day. I've downloaded the beta version and we're going to go straight into the app. To join Blab on your iOS device, you will need to have joined through your Twitter account. So when you come into the app, you will see a navigation that gives you the different categories of the content that you'll be able to find there. And you can see also what's on air at this point in time. Blab works in a way that you can have up to 4 people live streaming at any one time. On the mobile app, you can also switch your camera from front-facing to rear-facing. If I scroll down the text stream here, you can see that there's one event that's on air, that you can see the number of views, how many people are watching now, and the people who are in that live stream in terms of the 4 avatars that you see. One of the great things about Blab is that you can also schedule content, and you can schedule currently up to a month in advance. This is really helpful because you get the specific URL that you can then promote to other social networks, to people offline, and also through other marketing communications to encourage them to come and join you and watch that event. So I can scroll down and I can see events that are being scheduled. And if I wish to do so, I can click on an event and I can also subscribe to it. I'll immediately see there the link, which I can copy, and so I can now promote this if I thought this was an event that other people might be interested in. So I can copy that and of course then share it even through my own email system on my iPhone. I can follow the person. If I want to know a little bit more about them, I can click at any stage when I see people here on the app, I can click them and I can find a little bit about the person. I can also identify who are they following and who's following them. That's a great way for me to identify other people to follow. I can see here that there's myself viewing this at this point in time and that other people have subscribed. But for example here, let me click on this person's profile and again I can see the people who have subscribed. So I can then identify if they're people who've already subscribed to this content, who must be interested in the same kind of things I'm interested in. It's a great way for me to identify people to follow. Because at this point in time, I can't do a straightforward search in the app for people by their name, nor can I search for people by whatever is in their biography. You'll see at the bottom, even on the schedule content, that there's an ability for me to say something. So I could come in here and I can say I'm really looking forward to this event. And therefore I'm starting to build interaction and engagement with the host of the event before it starts. It gives me a link also next to the comments area where I can tweet out to people who are connected to me on Twitter, because I've joined this account by connecting my Twitter account. If I follow somebody in my settings, I can turn notifications on or off, so it means that I can be notified when they are actually scheduling another event or when their event is starting. So I'm going to navigate back to the home page just by clicking the home button on the right hand side. So now I can see all of these scheduled events, and the other thing that I can identify at the bottom of the scheduled events are events that have ended. Another thing that the host of an event can do is they can turn on the recording of an event. At the end of a live event, which can be held for up to 6 hours, the host will get an email notification with a link to where they can download the audio, download the video for the event, and also get the embed code to add it to their website or blog if they wish to do so. This is a great opportunity for hosts because they can then repurpose the content, perhaps edit down the content that was shared in the Blab discussion and then repurpose it onto their own website or other social media and video channels, or of course, because you get the MP3, to your podcast channel or other audio channels. All Blabs that are hosted are public, so anybody can see them, but it's down to the host of the event to make a decision about whether they want to record the event. They can also pause and then start recording again. At the end of the event, they can also make a decision to contact Blab, because this is not available at this point in time when I'm doing this recording, to be able to delete a previous event. So at the moment, all events that have been recorded will be visible there on the site. You may wish to delete those in the future, and I'm sure that's something that will happen in a future development. I can go over and look at this new category that's just been established, which is called business. And again, the same format where I can see scheduled events, and also if I scroll to the bottom, there'll be archived events. And then there's a general event, because we find people talking about all sorts of content, and I'm sure this will be refined further as the app gets developed. On the right hand side, I can see details about going to their blog, and that's a great way to go and get updates about new developments and what they've released. By clicking on my own avatar, I can go and see the people who are following me. That is something I can allow notifications about if I wish to know about who's following me, and I can also see who I'm following. So I can go through and actually identify if there are some new people who've started to follow me, and then follow them. What I'm noticing are a lot of people are joining Blab from both Google Plus and also from Periscope. So if you're on either of those platforms, it's likely you'll find a few people that you are already connected with, and therefore can start to engage with them here on this platform. Now, within the mobile app, I cannot change my bio, but I can do that on the website. And that's important for you to take a look at in terms of what does your profile look like on the bio, because it gets shortened. And so at this point in time, as you look at this, I've just put a link to my personal blog. Of course, that could be a link you want to refer to in terms of a landing page on your website, or alternatively, it could be information that you want to tell people about, such as where else to follow you. So do take the opportunity to have a look at the bio, if you can do, on an iOS device. I understand that Android is coming, but it's just not yet available. So when you come into an event, as we see here in this example, there's a notification that comes up to say that somebody has joined the event. You can see the host of the event up on the top left, and they have enabled other people to come into the conversation. I've got this muted at this moment. One thing I just want to identify here for you, which is something that you won't see so often on other technology platforms, is this is the CEO of Blab. If I click on his profile, we can actually see the details of Sean, and you can see here it says CEO of Bebo and more information about him. You can see I'm already following him. And one of the things I've noticed is that at this stage of development, members of the Blab team are coming in and joining conversations, which is terrific. You can see just underneath the profiles of people, here are all the avatars of the people who are in the conversation. So again, I can click on any of them to find out more about them, or of course I can look at their details here in terms of by going through. Now the great thing again is I can scroll through, and this is really helpful if you're hosting an event, because you can scroll through and see all the historical comments, and that makes it much easier for you as a host or a moderator, and also as a guest if you're in the stream, to be able to identify any questions. So what you might want to do is either have somebody else check that out and let you know about it if you're in the middle of a conversation, and they can prompt you in the chat, or alternatively get good at multitasking so you can converse, type and watch comments as well. It is quite a challenge. One action we can take on the desktop version of Blab is against somebody's name, there's a little arrow, so I can actually just click that to then reply to that person, and they'll be able to see it. But I'm not able to do it here currently on the iOS app. So what I would need to do is I need to comment directly in the comments box. So as an example, I can type in a message here and then just hit send. And then by clicking, I can also see other new messages that have come through.
How many people are on the platform? As close as you want to get. If you want to answer them, that's why I called you. Yeah.
So let's go and create our own event. How do we go about doing so? So I'm going to click the home button, and up on the top right, you'll see there's an area that it says host a blab. So now I'm going to put in a title. You'll get a notification about how many characters you can add when you're on desktop. So I can type in my title. I can then make a decision about what category. So I'm just going to put this into general. And then it gives me the option to say, do I want to go live now or in the future? Now a glitch I see at the minute is that it doesn't allow me for some reason to schedule into the future here on iOS. But I can do that on the desktop. I should just also reiterate that on desktop, you're best off using Chrome rather than any other browser. So then what I would do is I would then schedule the blab. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to go online now and hit the now button. And now it gives me the opportunity to start the blab. I'm going to close this very quickly because I'm obviously this is a video tutorial for you. So when I start the blab, I've got the front facing camera and I can click there. I can mute myself. I can flip the camera so I can look at my screen, which is our recording. And I can also leave the event as well. I also will get a notification in the chat when somebody else joins, and then I can invite them in if I wish to actually come in and be part of the conversation. The other thing you'll see at the bottom there are two hands. And so if you like what somebody is saying, you can just tap the hands and it will give them an applause. That won't appear as a ranking anywhere, but it is a great for you as a content creator or as a participant on the event. By seeing that, you'll see what content people like. When I'm on the mobile app, the other thing that to note is that for me to get to start the recording, I have to click the little information button, and then it gives me the link, so I can copy that link and I can also start the recording. But at the moment, as I said, on mobile, I'm seeing a glitch in terms of being able to schedule in advance. So if you're finding the same yourself, then go to the desktop to do so. So that's how you would start your event on Blab. So you can see lots of people are testing out content on Blab because it's such a new platform, but it's a great way to bring other people into the conversation. Perhaps you do so having done a webinar and you want to bring your audience in. Maybe you've done a live event and you want to encourage people to also join in a conversation afterwards. You could do it before events, or of course you could talk about whatever is of interest to you. I listened to Sean Puri on an event just very recently, and his ambition for this app is it for it to be just a place for people to come and talk about what they're interested in. And his goal is that blabbing becomes more popular than blogging. So that's quite some ambition. I hope you found that a useful introduction in terms of using Blab on your iOS device. If you're looking for a tutorial about how to use Blab for video conversations on your desktop, then make sure you check out my separate video tutorial. If you've got questions about live streaming for your business, you can find me on Twitter and you can send me a direct message there. You don't need to be following me for you to be able to do so. You'll also find that I frequently talk about live streaming tips, tutorials, and technologies that you can use to enhance your online communications. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more video tutorials about how to use visual content marketing for your organization and business.